I feel like this is the first time we play Florida and really any rivalry game where the opposing team is very quiet because I think they know it's like, okay, this can be ugly. Do you think that this team is looking to rally, or do you think that this team is at the brink of just like giving up?
I mean, I think it's going to be interesting to see what kind of team comes out. I think this game will mean something to them after, Miami basically coming into Gainesville and bashing our heads in last year, week 1. I think the team's just kind of, and just like the fan base, in shambles a little bit, bro. And it's going to be interesting to see what team shows up this week.
What's going on, guys, and welcome back to Tranquilo Sports Game Day Edition for our game of the week, the number 4 Miami Hurricanes versus the Florida Gators. And today I am joined by none other than Orlando El Cocodrilo Mendez. Joining us for the pod, but today might be a little bit of a therapy session for you. So welcome, man. Welcome to your first time on the sports set.
Yeah, bro.
First time on the sports, first time in the stew.
Thanks for having me,
brother.
brother.
First time in the studio.
Studio's insane. The setup is, just immaculate in here. Vibes are high.
And before we get into the game, I'd be remiss if I don't give a shout out to our boys over at Pitbull Stadium, the FIU Panthers.
Yes, sir.
Bringing home the Shula Bowl back to its rightful place. Big win over FAU last weekend. So shout out to the boys. Shout out to Willie Simmons, Keon Jenkins. Shout out to that team. The boys were super hyped. Andre, Dave, super hyped to get that win. Looking good for the Florida Panthers over there. But the topic for today is versus UF. Obviously a big rivalry game. It's the first, big run of the Florida, the Florida rivalry, the Florida war between all the teams. So before we get into the game, tell me a little bit about your Gators right now. It's a dark time right now in Gainesville, so I want to hear a little bit about how things are going for you over there.
Pooch, things are bad over in Gainesville, brother. In Gainesville and beyond, Gator Nation is in shambles. I think, it's been a tumultuous 4 years under Billy Napier. I think probably a couple games into last year, most of the fan base was off the wagon. We were off the bus. Big loss at home to Miami, 41-17 for game 1. That was inexcusable, and I was off at that point. Yeah. I was done with Billy at that point right there. I wanted him gone. And then come back and get beat down by Texas A&M at home, and it was just like most of the fan base was off. For whatever reason, the UAA and Scott Strickland decided to keep Billy just to ride out the season. He had some miraculous, 4-game streak at the end of the year.
You guys ended the year hot.
Really hot, yeah.
A lot of people had some high hopes for you guys, especially how you ended last year going into this year, for sure.
For sure. Starting midway through the season, you fight hard against Tennessee. Then you come back and you go on that streak where you beat LSU, where you beat Ole Miss, where you beat Florida State, where you're looking good. You're looking like, well, we can take some momentum into next season. And then just to see it all come crashing down at the beginning of the season, the most disappointing thing could possibly happen, bro.
It was very surprising to me because obviously you started the game, the year pretty easy, Long Island, but then you go into USF. And, I've talked to everyone about, obviously we saw what just did to USF.
Yeah.
And it felt like you guys were caught looking ahead.
Yeah.
And I felt like on UMs, and I feel like the best thing that could have happened was USF beat you guys because then we gave USF the respect they deserve.
For sure.
And even though we beat them, all regards aside, USF has a very good team. They might even run the table over there in their conference. But it looks like you guys got caught looking ahead, but then you get to the game that you guys might have been looking ahead to. And reality is, you guys had a chance.
Yeah.
You guys really had a chance. So I guess my question to you is this Billy Napier not making necessary changes when his QB is struggling? Or is it just the team not really rallying behind this guy? Because, quarterback throws an interception, okay. Throws another one, hey, not his day. But he goes on to throw 5.
Yeah.
At what point is the line of okay, we need to get this kid out, or we need to just stop putting the ball in his hands? Is that more Billy's fault, or is it just the team just not meshing together at all?
I think it's completely Billy's fault, and I'll tell you why. The word for Billy Napier's tenure has been pride, and I think it will be his undoing, bro. It's the reason he will get fired is because Billy is a great CEO. He's a good recruiter. He's a good, culture guy. Good locker room guy. Built, a good program in terms of talent. But man, he cannot put his pride aside. Billy's Achilles heel is play calling. He's not a good play caller, and he does not have a good feel for the game.
I was surprised to see you guys still taking shots after this kid just had no rhythm at all.
No rhythm.
And he's just throwing. I mean, we talked about it right before the pod. I mean, they weren't just interceptions; they were like bad interceptions. Like there's no reason to be throwing that ball. It looked very familiar to our boy down here in South Florida for the Miami Dolphins. But I mean, some of those balls were just not looking good. I mean, they
were in triple coverage. They were in double coverage. They were routes that were clearly not going anywhere. And I think, the problem isn't, like I was saying, Billy doesn't put him in good places to make plays, bro. Like, on top of not conceding play calling, which he should have done a couple years ago, seeing as the offense has not been good in years, he should have said, let me get a play caller, just like Norvell did over at FSU. Swallow your pride and get yourself somebody who's gonna be a better fit for your team and put your players in position to win. Yeah. And again, he hasn't done that. Now in this game against LSU, DJ is obviously having a bad day. He's obviously not seeing the field well. We were doing decent in the running game. We just gave up on it. Yeah. It's like, man, why don't I give my young quarterback either A, put less on his shoulder by not making him drop back and throw 49 times. He threw 49 times while throwing interceptions. Or B, man, let me put in the backup. Let me put in Tramel Jones, who probably wouldn't have won us the game, but man, give Lagway a break, bro. Yeah. Don't kill his confidence like that, man. Like,
and what's so messed up about it is that you guys were in the game until the end. I mean, the pick six, I believe, happened with 8 minutes left in the third quarter. You're down by 10. I mean, you're still in the game. That game is 100%. Not over. You're only down 3 going into halftime. So, I mean, the fact that it's like almost like in the NBA, like if your shooter's off, just keep on shooting it and eventually it'll come back to you. Like, I don't think that reciprocates to football. Like, if you're having a bad day, like sometimes like taking the football out of your hands, it just might not, it's not going to get better.
No.
Because it's not like, you do an interception, then the ball's out of your hands for 5 minutes, then your defense has to go out there. And credit to your defense, man, with all that against them. I mean, they held their own. They held 100%. LSU, top 5 team, which maybe they're not top 5 material, but regardless, they held them to 13 points, really. The outside of the pick six, only allowed 13 points on the defensive end with 5 picks being thrown. So, I mean, the fact that Billy didn't even give your boys a chance to even go out there and, like, put himself in scoring position at all was just really surprising to me.
100%. The defense played great, bro. The defense really held their own. The defense made it hard for LSU to really do anything. They were not running the ball well. The passing game was not going. Nussmeier was kind of rattled too, and it was sad to see such a good defensive performance be wasted, bro. Be wasted by a coach that is just so stubborn that said, "I'm riding with my guy. I don't care if he throws 3. I don't care if he throws 30 picks. He's staying in there and not giving his team a chance to win." When the defense was honestly showing up, bro, and showing out every drive. Yeah. I mean, I think once in the first half, the defense started with three straight 3-and-outs. Mm-hmm. It's like, bro, give your team a chance to win.
Yeah, it was a defensive shootout. It was a low-scoring game.
Yeah, man. So it's sad to see, and it's just been what we've been going through the last couple of years.
It's like very similar when you see all these young quarterbacks, and I think a guy that's been talked about a lot, maybe even more than DJ is now, is Archie Manning. Mm-hmm. Another guy that's not off to a hard start, but had super high expectations going into the year. Do you think that Lagway's kind of falling into that same formula, like such high expectations, and now he's not performing? Everyone just kind of like, is everyone like really turning on him right now?
100%, man. It's sad to see because I think DJ's super talented. Obviously, he came in as a 5-star. He came in as the number 1 quarterback prospect in his class. And just like Arch, there were so many expectations. And beyond Arch, it wasn't only the expectations for the team and on him, but it was the expectation to save his coach.
Yeah.
DJ had literally the Billy Napier's job riding on his shoulders
it was.
Since last year.
After that game, I mean, if it wasn't for DJ coming in, I mean, Billy Napier
would have been gone. Since last year, it was let's wait, let's see what DJ does, let's see if he can be Billy's savior, and that's a lot of pressure, bro. But not only that, it's just he's not putting him in great positions to win with the elementary play calling. With his game plan and his feel for the game, he's not putting DJ in position to win.
Yeah, and then obviously, I mean, you have to follow it up now by coming into Hard Rock Stadium on Saturday on prime time against, playing against, bias aside, I mean, Miami just looks really good right now. Yeah. We're kicking on all cylinders. The defense is very much improved. The defensive front looks insane. Our offensive front looks insane. And man, credit to Carson Beck, a guy that basically got kicked out of Georgia,
Yeah.
said everything was his fault. You know, you're the reason we're not doing good. And then he comes to Miami. The guy right now is in the leading race for the Heisman right now. I mean, playing really good football. So, I mean, you know, as a Florida fan, and I feel like this is the first time we play Florida and really any rivalry game where the opposing team is very quiet because I think they know it's like, okay, this can be ugly. But as a Florida fan, you know, when you look at rivalry games, you kind of throw out rankings. You never know what's going to happen. It's any given Sunday for NFL, but for college, you say any given Saturday. Do you think that this team is looking to rally, or do you think that this team is at the brink of just like giving up?
I mean, I think it's going to be interesting to see what kind of team comes out because I think they rallied for LSU. At least the defense really rallied for LSU. I think this game will mean something to them after, you know, Miami basically coming into Gainesville and bashing our heads in last year, week 1. I think there's going to be some pride there of like, hey, listen, let's go do it to them. I think the team's just kind of, and just like the fan base in shambles a little bit, bro. And it's going to be interesting to see what team shows up this week. I will say something for Florida. They didn't last year, no matter how bad we were to begin the season, they didn't quit, obviously. The team rallied together. We went on a great run. Can this team do the same thing? We'll see. Just like I'm going to be honest about the Gators, I think I'm going to be honest about UM. UM looks great. The offensive line looks spectacular, like the best offensive line money can buy, bro.
Yeah.
And not only that, I think Cristobal's done a great job developing them, which on the other side, on the UF side, we have not done a great job developing our offensive line talent.
Yeah.
We have a bunch of seniors coming back, you know, who came back. We have a very experienced offensive line who, through 3 games, doesn't look good. Doesn't look like they took the huge step they're supposed to with that many senior level guys. I do believe there's holes. You know, UM is deservedly getting a lot of love. I do believe there's holes in Miami that we haven't seen yet. I'm not a believer in Carson Beck. I watched him play a lot at Georgia. And I think that he has holes in his game. I think one thing they haven't been able to do to him enough is bring pressure. You pressure Carson Beck, he makes mistakes. And he threw 2 picks against USF, and both were under pressure. I think once you bring that pressure, you can see there's some holes in Carson Beck's game. Now, he's standing behind an NFL O-line, you know, with all day to throw the ball, you know. I mean, that's the issue.
Our O-line right now, you're probably going to see a couple of those guys playing on Sunday
100%.
next year. I mean, right side alone, I mean, our Adonis Cooper, who may not be the best O-line in our offensive line, but he's the dog. Like, he is the prototypical personality you want. He's the one that he stands on the sideline and waits as the opposing team comes out. Like, he is a monster. And then next to him on that right side is arguably the best offensive line in the class in Maui Noa. A stud offensive line, a stud running back in Mark Fletcher, who's just a powerhouse. We haven't even seen Jordan Lau, who was the number 2 back coming in. He hasn't played, but Mark Fletcher is just 6'1", 225, hard to bring down. And, man, one thing that Miami's answered, and I think a lot of people said that this is going to be our downfall. Our receivers look amazing.
They do.
I mean, you have CJ Daniels, who every week has a highlight catch. Against Notre Dame, he had a one-handed catch. Against Bethune-Cookman, he had a freaking up ball. And then against USF, he was being hugged and then leaned over the guy, caught the ball, got the PI plus the yardage. I mean, the team looks very complete right now. But as a UM fan, I know that UM has times where they get too high on their own product. And I think Cristobal's made it very important this year that it's like, we're not doing that. We're not going to get snuck up on. I don't care if we're playing Alabama. I don't care if we're playing Penn State, Oregon, or we're playing Bethune-Cookman or FAMU. We're going to treat everyone the same. We're going to treat every opponent with respect. And like I told you, your defense has held its own for the most part. They held USF to, 13?
They've allowed 2 touchdowns through 3 games.
They allowed 2 touchdowns through 3 games. They held Newsmeyer, who's a projected number 1 pick, to only 13 points. So I think your defense has shown some stuff, but I do think that UM's offense is going to come to play. And it might be the best offense you guys have seen up until now.
Oh, for sure.
But I really do think it's just going to be a matter of attitude. In these kind of rivalry games, it really just comes down to attitude. And it's going to come down to, coaching on the day. These rivalry games, like, there have been years where, UM has played FSU and we're unranked, and FSU is at the top of the country, number one, and we take him to the wire. Those games are usually one-score games. So, I mean, I do think that Hard Rock is going to be packed. I think it's going to be loud. But, I mean, for UF, what would you think are the keys of the game to, give you guys, a chance? And, well, right now is looking to be a pretty favorable matchup in looking in from a Miami's lens.
Yeah, I think both sides of the ball. So we'll start on offense. I think what they're gonna have to do is take a little pressure off of Lagway. We have, just like you guys, have an incredible running back in Jaden Ball. I think he's one of the best running backs in the country, and the dude's elusive as hell. I think if we can get the running game going, take some pressure off Lagway, call some better play action, some better play action passes where you get the defense a little bit off guard. Let Lagway do his thing. I think a lot of what's been happening is that these coaches have coached him so much in first reads, and this is what the play call is, this is where you're supposed to go with the ball, that they're not letting Lagway sling like, he's a gunslinger, bro. They're not letting him play his game. So I think that's on the offensive side of the ball. Run the ball, create consistency, get a flow going, and put in Lagway in positions to be successful. I think on defense, bro, number one, we have to stop the run. That's going to be huge. And I think we just lost our best defensive lineman in Caleb Banks for a couple more games after he was playing well against LSU. So that's really going to hurt. But you have to stop the run. You got to stop Mark Fletcher and Jordan Lyle. And then you got to make Carson Beck beat you. I think the key to this game for U.S. defense is you have to make Carson Beck beat you. And I'm not saying the slant routes that he's great at throwing. I'm saying cover those and make him beat you deep. Make him beat you down the field. Put him in third and longs and make him make the throws. You got to put some pressure on him and make him beat you with his arm. And unless we can do those things, we're probably coming out pretty bad in this one.
No, I think, looking from a Miami side as a Miami fan, I think for us, I think it's obviously, I guess in a sense, it's just let Lagway make his mistakes.
Yeah.
I think our D-line is good enough that we don't have to send a blitz.
Yeah.
I think Rueben Bain right now is looking like the best defender in the country. I mean, I think through 3 games, I think he has an average win rate of like almost 50%. I mean, the guy is just looking unstoppable right now. I mean, he's projected to be a very, very high draft pick, one of the top defensive ends in the country. And, his performance is really shying away from the rest of the D-line, who's also getting a lot of pressure. We have a lot of speed. And then our DB room has looked really good up until now. I mean, the DB room was a big question, but the DBs have looked really good, especially against Notre Dame. I mean, outside of a couple, big plays, I think in the defensive back room, we've get really, I wouldn't say undisciplined, but when we see a quarterback escape the pocket, we commit too early on the quarterback. And I think that we have made adjustments there because Byron Brown only ran for 2 yards against us.
Yeah.
We didn't let him use his feet at all, which is where I really think that USF wasn't able to get anything going because they didn't let Byron Brown, get anything going. So I think obviously keep DJ in the pocket, force him, cover those guys quick and, force them to make mistakes. And on the offensive side, I mean, just keep on doing what you're doing, win up front. And I mean, right now, humbly, like I don't see outside of maybe, in Ohio State and Oregon, I don't think there's a defensive line that can match up against us and make a difference.
Yeah.
I mean, will people win some reps? Probably. They'll probably win some reps. They'll probably stuff a couple runs. But through 60 minutes a game, I don't think there's a defense that can go toe-to-toe with us, on the front at least. Now, everything else, obviously, you have to rule out mistakes. I think, against USF, we had a lot of false starts, a lot of, self-inflicted wounds that, and a lot of them coming from Maui Noah, out of all people. So I think, Carson Beck has to be a little bit better with the football. I mean, those interceptions against USF, one of them was getting hit as he threw it. One of them was, I think, Malachi Tony, the freshman, had like a 50-inch vert and tipped the ball that wasn't meant for him. Yeah. Do I think that bomb might have still gotten picked? Probably. But regardless, I think he has to play very similar to how he played against Notre Dame, which is very safe football. Obviously, take shots, but don't take shots where it's, it's pretty much like a 50-50 ball. Yeah. Put it somewhere where either receiver's getting it or no one's getting it, which I think he has been very good at protecting the football. But, again, I think USF, we can get away with those mistakes. Yeah. In a rivalry game against UF, maybe not, right? I still want to give UF the credit they are because, like I said, it's still UF. They have a very good defense. And for all we know, maybe Saturday's the day that they just click. Yeah. They just click. But I do think that UM has, its advantages. I think that we're playing very well on all ends right now. And I think it's our games to lose. I think this week is really our game to lose. And if we just keep on doing the things we're doing, stay disciplined, don't get, those stupid unsportsmanlike conducts, don't get false starts, keep it clean behind the pocket, keep Carson Beck on his feet. Dre keeps on doing the Seminole chomp behind my head. It's so distracting because he thinks.
Wait for that one. That should be a good. That'll be a better game.
He's trying to get me amped up because I'm being so humble right now because I feel bad for UF, but I don't feel bad for FSU. I'm coming at full 8 cylinders. But regardless, I really do want it to be a good game. I mean, when we recorded our pod earlier before the season started, I wanted all the Florida teams to be ranked. I wanted all of us to be in the hunt. I wanted all of us to be in the mix, because when a great Florida rivalry, it's just fun football. Even those games go one way or the other, and those games should be grudge matches.
That's the best. When Florida football is all firing, when they're all at the top, is when football's most fun.
100%. Because those are all perennial, blue blood programs. A lot of rich history between all three. But obviously, right now, Florida is through an identity crisis. So I guess my next question is, how loose is the leash on Billy? If this game goes as everyone is expecting it to be, is this Billy's last game as the Florida Gators head coach?
I think so. I'd never know anymore, bro, because I really thought he was going to be gone last year after Texas A&M. We got to the bye week, and it was like, okay, they raised the money for the buyout, so that's not a question anymore. The boosters came and raised the money for the buyout. They were ready to let him go, and the UAA decided to keep him. And so after this, I think if he loses in embarrassing fashion to Miami, you have to let him go. And I think if not, then time will let him go, because after this he faces Texas A&M, Georgia. That's just in the following 3 weeks. And then he's got Ole Miss, he's got Tennessee, he's got a gauntlet, bro. So there's no saving him.
And unfortunately, UF is always in the midst of an SEC that is always pretty strong, even though I think you guys match up better against Texas than you do against us. I think Texas is very, very vulnerable, but that's a whole nother conversation.
Yeah. My thing with, and I think you mentioned it a little bit, my thing with Miami, I think that the DBs also, although they've looked better, I don't think they've been really tested yet, to be honest with you. I think Notre Dame didn't really test them much because they ran 45 screens and didn't trust C.J. Carr to throw down the field, and then couldn't really get any rhythm in the run game either. I mean, they kind of gave up on it.
Yeah.
Jeremiah Love barely ran the ball. Mm-hmm. So I think the DBs, although they've looked good, I'll give them that. They've looked much improved. I don't know if they've been tested yet. And I don't know if UF is the team to test them. I don't think we are. I'm just saying they haven't been tested.
Yeah.
Team might test them a little bit. FSU might test them a little bit.
I think we're just very blessed with the fact that our D-line is so good that maybe it makes up because – look, all the credit to Byron Brown. I think the kid is very talented. I think he's a unit. I think he can be very talented, but the kid can't throw a football.
No, he's a runner.
He heaves it, and he got a couple heaves on us, but when it just came to throwing a 15-yard out, he couldn't complete it. It bowed it. He just couldn't. He doesn't have the touch for that. But I agree in a sense of it's weird because going into Notre Dame, and I talked my shit for Notre Dame, but going to Notre Dame, everyone said these receivers are really good. These receivers are really good. And yeah, you saw it at the end, but I think at the end you kind of saw Notre Dame playing catch-up football.
Yeah.
So they just started getting, and we were kind of letting them.
Yeah, you're
sitting back, which in reality, if you're in a game where it's, you have a 3-score lead, you're not going to be setting the house. You're going to sit back a little bit and give up some underneath stuff. So we did get exposed there, but I agree in a sense of this. In terms of the pool of receivers, these might be a little bit more talented than the ones you see, even though I think Notre Dame was talented, but Notre Dame just lost again. So how good is Notre Dame? That's a question. And that's been the story throughout college football. It's
who's good?
These rankers just and we're going to go on 10. These fucking rankers suck this year.
They're bad.
They haven't gotten anything right.
Nothing.
They haven't gotten a single team right. Ohio State, maybe. And even the way they're ranking, you're look, Notre Dame should not be ranked still.
No.
You lost 2 games. Yeah, one you got against UM. Now against Texas A&M, that was 18. They shouldn't be ranked.
No.
They should not be ranked. And I think USF, all things considered, should still be ranked because they beat 2 ranked teams.
I was asking that question. I asked my brother yesterday. I was like, bro, why did USF fall out of the rankings? They just lost to what were you guys ranked? 6? 5 to a 5th ranked Miami team. And, although they weren't competitive in that game, you just beat Boise State, who was ranked at the time, and UF, who was ranked at the time. Now you're going to penalize them out of the top 25 completely for losing to the 5th ranked team in the country, but let Notre Dame stick around in the rankings? I'm confused.
And they let Bama's creeping its way back up again now after smacking a couple people. I think that AP looks more at the logo than they do at the actual team because, I mean, there's some really talented teams like Tulane.
Yeah.
Tulane's
just
pretty freaking
beat down
good.
Duke, right?
Tulane. Why isn't Tulane ranked?
Yeah.
You know, why doesn't FIU get a couple votes in right now? Shout out to FIU. Why doesn't FIU get a couple votes? Sure, they're not playing the freaking Tennessees and stuff, but like, there's a reason why the rankings. Like, can FIU hold its own against the top 25? If they should, why shouldn't they be ranked? Give them a chance to be in there. Give a little bit of, give a new flavor to this and just being on the ranks. Like, look, all things considered, I think UM should be ranked ahead of LSU.
I think so.
In terms of the way they won, winning a game by 10 where the opposing quarterback throws 5 interceptions, you only win by 10?
No, if you look, that's what I'm saying. I don't think they're watching the games. I don't think they're locked into the games because if you compare how LSU looked these last couple weeks, if you look at LSU's offense, which looks honestly constipated, like they don't do anything. They don't really do anything well.
Yeah.
They didn't run the ball well against us, and they really didn't pass well against us. If you look at that versus how UM's moving the ball, how can you have LSU ranked over UM, who has a couple, at least has the Notre Dame impressive win, beat USF, I don't know. I don't think they should be ranked over LSU. Bro.
And I mean, no offense to you guys, but there was a ranker that moved UF up in the rankings after you lost to USF.
Yeah, I don't get that.
And regardless, I mean, I think the rankers, reality is in a couple weeks, the only ranking that matters is the playoff rankings, the CFP rankings. That's the only one's going to matter. So AP and all these other ones are going to go out the womb. But I think there needs to be a couple more respect for some of these teams that, maybe they meet their match. And like some guy from USF said it, like, look, we still have a good team. We can still run the table in the American, but we met our match.
Yeah.
Like UM on paper, as of now, 3 weeks in, we look like one of the best teams in the country. Yeah. And that's, unbiased. Anyone that watches football and they watch what we did to a top 20 team knows that these guys are legit.
No, 100%.
Now, could this be a week where we're tested a little bit? Maybe. I do want to see this team tested. Obviously, we were tested against Notre Dame a little bit, but at one point we were up by 3 scores.
Yeah.
And we just had to hold on to the end. Yeah, they tied the game late, but we were in control the whole game, which is a parody because that was not the case last year. Last year we were coming from behind every single time. Now we're actually playing from ahead.
Yeah.
So,
and that's a different skill too, man. Like it's way different. Obviously, playing from behind than maintaining leads.
Well, listen, that's the reason we lost to Syracuse last year. We had a 3-touchdown lead and we gave it up because we were still out there throwing the ball. I mean, you look at the Dolphin game this last weekend. The Patriots got the ball back after 2 interception and they threw the ball. Yeah. And all they do is run out the clock, and they threw the ball and they gave us a chance to come back. And I mean, Coño, we were a foot away from doing it. So I do agree it's a skill to play, from ahead as much. But I mean, I think Saturday should be very interesting. I think that, let's see if UF, I think the scariest team is a team that has nothing to lose.
Yeah.
And right now you guys have nothing to lose. So, are you guys just going to be so desperate to try to do something that you kill yourselves in the process of doing it? Is this team already over, Billy? We'll see because right now all the questions are not as, how is UM going to win this game? It's like, okay, like what is UF going to do? What does UF have left in them? Because right now, there's nothing to lose.
I think my big question for this weekend is how does the team come out? Like you say, are they over Billy? Are they over DJ? Because I heard there's some rumors and rumblings that the team's upset with DJ.
I saw it too.
I don't know how true that is.
He got special treatment and everything.
I don't know how true that is, bro.
You don't know how true it is because, no offense, but some guy on Twitter from UF said like, Miami's O-line regressed. They're terrible this year.
True. Yeah.
We have a terrible run game.
Yeah, that's not true at all.
Like Heatherman is running a terrible defense. Then you see us come out and do everything opposite. So it's like
that guy doesn't watch football.
Twitter fingers. Anyone can talk on Twitter. Anyone can be an analyst until you get on the field and you actually put on the helmets and pads. But I think everyone wants to see how UF is going to come out and play this game, and how they're going to respond because you got to show something.
Listen, if they're done with Billy, if they're done with DJ, if they're really that demoralized, it'll be obvious. Now the question is, and what I find exciting and interesting is, what if they're not? What if this team says, "Listen, chip on our shoulder. We have nothing to lose. We're playing with house money at this point, and we just want to play. We just want to play party pooper, bro. And just if they come out playing like that with their hair on fire in a rivalry game, I think this thing could get interesting, man. If Billy really gets his shit together and decides that, man, my job is truly on the line. I have nothing to lose, and calls a good game. I don't know what could happen, bro. I really don't. I guess that's the only question. Yet less of like, how is UM going to win this game, and more of like, how can UM lose this game?
Yeah.
How can UF kind of maybe steal it from them?
No, 100%. Like, the worst thing a team can do is sneak up on somebody. And if UF was ranked and everything, maybe in the eyes of us, but I do think that UM has taken away the logos and just see this is a team we have to prepare for. Mm-hmm. And I think the USF game proved that to me. Because usually in games like this, like, I mean, last week we were the favorites. It's like USF is going to go in there and beat Miami because of how we were in the past. These are the games that we lose, these trap games. And I mean, we still have the whole ACC schedule. You know, Miami loves to
drop a couple in the ACC.
Loves to have a miracle victory.
Yeah.
And reality is, we don't have Cam Ward. You know.
Yeah.
We don't have a Cam Ward. But do I think this team is better than last year? 100% on both sides. I think this team 100%. Is more disciplined because I saw at one point on last Saturday, one of our guys was getting into a USF player in the end zone after we scored. And our players grabbed him and took him away. He's like, we're not doing that.
That's awesome.
So in terms of discipline, I think this is now finally Mario's culture. Mm-hmm. You finally got the last of the old regime out of those guys that maybe they were, too much in their own ego and costly plays, especially against Syracuse. We score a touchdown. You get an unnecessary roughness. You lose 15 yards on the play. You do all this. I don't see us making those mistakes in terms of self-inflicting wounds.
Right, self-inflicted wounds, right.
Will you still maybe have some holdings and stuff, but those things that show okay, this team is at least disciplined.
Right.
We have our head down, and we look at every opponent and says, we're going to smack you in the mouth.
Yeah.
A lot like the 2001 Miami Hurricanes did it, and I hate to put the comparison, but they look ready, they look battle-tested, and I think that will carry over into this game.
Yeah.
But like you said, it's any given Saturday. College football in itself is a parody. Mm-hmm. I think the line right now is already UM -8.5. We'll see how that is. Me personally, just on paper, without knowing what's happening inside that locker room, I do think UM is a 2-touchdown favorite in this game. Mm-hmm. So I'll go back to you and I'll say, what do you think, unbiasedly, is your score prediction for this game?
I got a question for you also as a UM fan. I don't know if to ask you this before. You want to
please,
prediction?
No, please.
So, because I'm curious, man, just, being from the outside, obviously not being a UM fan, even though I have many, many UM fans in my life, and they like to remind me on a daily basis their ranking and their record. So thank you guys, including my girlfriend. Love you. Anyways, no, as a UM fan, what do you think, truthfully, with what you've seen so far? Obviously, coming off of having a quarterback like Cam Ward, where you never felt like you were out of a game, mm-hmm. and never really felt like a game was too far out of reach, or you guys were in a whole lot of dire trouble, because you always knew that Cam Ward could play hero ball and could bring you back. Now, with a quarterback that is not Cam Ward, because Carson Beck, I believe, is nowhere near Cam Ward. I mean, that's the number one pick in the draft. I think he was special, man. And having a quarterback like Carson Beck, what do you feel like if you have a game where you do get down, if you have a game where Carson Beck does have to sling and maybe play some hero ball, do you think he could bring you guys from behind? Do you think he can lead a team to a victory being down, maybe a couple scores?
I think he can, just because of what we have as a team. And I think that in a game where maybe, we get a couple turnovers, maybe the offense isn't humming as it is, I do think he has what it takes because, we talk a lot about the mental aspect of football, and it seems like he does like football again. Because I really do feel, and I think a lot of people have seen that Georgia blamed him for a lot of shit that wasn't really on him. I think they led the nation in drop passes, and I think, unfortunately, that's not a receiver stat. Because when the game's over, you look at the stat line, you're like, oh, this guy, had all these misses. They lost, but then you see a receiver drop 2 big touchdowns in the end zone, and we've seen ourselves as Dolphin fans where a couple years back. We saw important touchdowns dropped, but you won't know that on the stat sheet unless you go and you watch the game and be like, coño, against Philadelphia 2 years ago, Tyreek Hill dropped a walk-in touchdown that was right in his hands. But then you look at the game like, coño, look at Tua, he threw an interception here at the end, what the heck? Yeah. But you saw a touchdown that gave us the lead.
Yeah, I guess.
So I do think that, we haven't experienced that, but I do think Carson Beck is a seasoned veteran in this sport. I do think he has the arm talent, and I saw, and this is a whole different thing. I saw Carson Beck play in high school against Christopher Columbus back in the state championship a couple years back, and the kid was unbelievable. I think this kid has the talent. I think he has the arm, and I think he now has the poise because I really do think that this team has rallied around him, and he's rallied around the team. You see DB celebrating with him. You see him hyping up the defense. And everyone saw after the Notre Dame game, he has a handshake with almost every single player. So if we are down, we'll wait to see it. But I do think he has the confidence in himself that he's not going to give up. Whereas in Georgia, he had the whole city against him at one point. So I do think he has what it takes to bring us back. When it happens and how it happens, I'll come back to this conversation. But as of now, I do feel like Carson Beck is in a groove. And I think that he likes football again. He enjoys football again. And I think that, we're all behind him. The whole city's behind him. I think we all trust him at this point.
Yeah. Do you know he threw like 4 picks against the Gators last year?
Yeah. Listen, it wasn't as good. It wasn't a good year last year. And I'll be the first one to tell it. And going to Notre Dame game, we all had a lot of question marks about Carson Beck. But then he goes, plays a really good, clean game against Notre Dame. Obviously, goes into Bethune-Cookman, does his thing, goes into USF, uses his legs. I didn't see that part of him. We actually have designed runs for him.
I saw that.
So now it's that new thing that he has that maybe they didn't do that in Georgia. And then now, hey, this kid, if you're stacking the box, you're so worried about this D-line, and you were so worried about this running back. Oh, shit, now this guy might roll out and take one, maybe take one for a couple yards. So now it's like you're seeing them expand his game more. So, like I said, up until this point, I can't tell you because as I watched Carson Beck, he's been nothing but very, very good for us. And he's been in control in all these games, but we've been, as a team, in control of all these games.
Yeah.
So when a game is tight, will he make those self-inflicting wounds? We'll see. We'll see if this is truly a new version of Carson Beck when the time comes. But as of right now, I can only look at what I've seen. And what I've seen is this kid is going to be a very good quarterback for us this year. And hopefully he just keeps on riding the momentum through the ACC and we don't drop one of those games and we go to the, the playoffs in a couple weeks from now. And where we pick up where we were last year, where we had our chance, we had our ticket, our ticket, ready, and we dropped it there at the end. So we'll see. It's a waiting game, but as of right now, I have no doubt in Carson Beck.
Yeah, no, I don't think you should yet. It's going to be interesting to see. They haven't been, like you said, in that predicament yet. Can Carson Beck be the guy? Can he play hero ball? Can he bring you back? I don't know. I think it is cool that they've been expanding his game a little bit, letting him run, whereas DJ Lagway, they've been taking elements of his game off.
Yeah.
I think some of that's had to do with that he missed the entire offseason, and now we see how much that hurt, that he's gained weight, and he looks like, honestly, right now, he looks kind of like cumbersome. He looks like he's carrying a lot of weight. He looks like he's lost a lot of his athletic ability, bro.
I feel for these kids, man, because at the end of the day, these are kids.
Yeah, man.
DJ Lagway is probably, 19 years old?
Yeah, he's 19 or
and he's
20
carrying he has 19. A whole program on his back.
Yeah.
I think it's messed up. I really do think that as media, and having the platform that some of us have, I think we really need to, let them put on pads before you make your predictions. Obviously, 100%. It's their job to make predictions. But, they've been so wrong this year on all phases. With Notre Dame, they made Notre Dame sound like the next coming, going against us. Like, a lot of analysts were like, their DB room, stout. You're not going to be able to stop him.
I heard that everywhere.
Jeremiah Love is the greatest thing to happen since Alshon Giant. He's the next Gianti. He ran for 44 yards against us.
Yeah.
So it's like, let them play ball. Let them play ball and then figure it out.
Yeah.
And like you said, I do think Lagway is a very good quarterback, and we saw him play good quarterback. Now, the next question will be, is Lagway your quarterback if Napier leaves?
That's the thing, man. I don't know, and that was a big reason why Napier stayed. Like I said earlier, it was all, bro, let's wait. Let's see what he can do with Lagway. That's his guy. Let's let this play out, because if not, we're going to lose DJ for sure. Now, the question is still, are we going to lose DJ? But the fan base doesn't care anymore, man. Yeah. At this point, it's so bad. What we've been seeing for 4 years has been so bad, so much of the same, so stagnant. We want to change it. We don't care who leaves. Yeah, does it suck if we lose Lagway, if we lose, Dallas Wilson, if we lose a lot of this young talent that we really are hanging our hat on? Sure, man, but it's worth it to not be going through this pain week in, week out.
Sometimes you just need a reset. And I already saw a couple of coaches you guys might give calls to. I heard you might even give a call to the guy over down at USF, bring him in, Golish. Yeah. You might give a call to Kiffin. Maybe give a call to Urban Meyer, see if he wants to put on the straps again. But obviously, we're all talking in the future. But the most important thing is that there's a game on Saturday. Football still has to be played. And after those 60 minutes are over, we'll revisit it. But going into this game, what do you think is your score prediction going into
Score
it?
prediction time. Listen, I think keys to the game, like I said, if UF can stop the run game, if they can stop Mark Fletcher and Jordan Lyle, if they can put the game in the hands of Carson Beck, apply some pressure, and make him throw downfield, I think that's the way the defense gets ahead. On offense, we have to run the ball. And I know the defensive line is fantastic. And I think the pass rush is really where you guys excel. So we got to run the ball 100%. Take some pressure off DJ. I think it's going to be, if we're able to stay in it, a low-scoring game. I think it might be a defensive struggle. I have 20-17. The Gators take it home, and UF shocks the world, bro.
Hey, man, you know what? A lot of credit to you guys, for the confidence, and still, you might still be strong. You're one of the only strong UF fans I might know. So credit to you guys. But I do think that UM is going to, take care of business. I do think I will give you some respect to your defense. I don't think we're going to rout you guys by 35-40. If we do, UM has to be the number one team in the country. But realistically, unbiasedly, I think we take this game by 2 scores. We'll make it 3. I think it's going to be 27-10.
27-10. Okay.
27-10. I'm going to give us a 3-score game. Look at this guy. This guy's off camera. Dre is talking crap behind camera.
I don't know, Dre.
Dre's talking crap behind crap. No, but 27-10, I think we take this game by 3 scores. And I am giving respect to your dudes because I saw you guys have held your own so far, especially against LSU, who, had all these high hopes about them. So I'm going to give respect to your defense, but I always undershoot the score because, you never know how the game's going to happen. But regardless, I think it's going to be a fun game. I think the crowd's going to come out. I think people are so excited about it because it is rivalry week. And all we can wait for now is at the end of that fourth quarter, and they'll revisit it.
No, 100%. That's all we have is just watch the game, see what happens. I'll send a prayer before it, and we just see what happens. It's a rivalry, like I said, and we'll see. I think there'll be hopefully a lot of UF fans there. Hopefully there'll be a great representation, and we'll be able to get more than 66,000.
Absolutely. Well, listen, before you wrap it up, I want you to take a little bit of the spotlight.
That's the prediction there from Dre.
What is Dre's prediction? Let's read Dre's prediction before you wrap it up, because he doesn't want me to wrap it up.
My guy.
Dre has UF winning
26-23. Go Gators, baby. He's jumping with me. He's jumping on camera.
I think someone put some stuff on your phone case. You might be on something. But
I like that, bro. I like 26-23.
But before we wrap up, I know you have some new music out, and so I want to give you a chance to talk about some of the stuff you have coming up, some of the upcoming projects, and let people know where to find you, man. You got some good stuff. You got some good music out there right now. Let people know where you can find it.
Thank you, brother. Listen, aside from being a heartbroken UF fan, I'm a country music artist. For those of you guys who don't know me, I go back and forth from here to Nashville and release some music. I'm currently in the process of releasing a project called the Summer Sixpack that's coming out, that's being rolled out. I've released 2 singles from it already, doing really well.
Really good
and
stuff.
I have a third one coming September 26th, so that's next Friday. Man, just really excited about the project. Would love for you guys to follow the journey. Stay Tranquilo is a big supporter of mine, which I can't thank these guys enough for. But you can find me anywhere on social media, Orlando Mendez Music. Would love for you to take a listen to the music and see what this Miami boys got going on.
Go listen to it, guys. It's fantastic music.
Thanks, brother.
Well, Orlando, thank you for joining me today, brother, and all your emotions and sorrow. Appreciate you for coming on, talking a little bit of football with me, man. It's always a pleasure, brother.
You're my boy. We're rivals this week, but you know what?
Happy
Still my dog,
week, brother.
Yeah.
All right, guys. See you on the next one.